Hello students, this is your video lesson on food labels. This is Nu3, food labels. And food labels tell you what's in the food that you're eating. So the real purpose of food labels is, why is it important to know what's on them? They can help you make an informed decision about the foods that you choose. So you can eat a particular food item and know how many calories it is and how much fat and how many sugars and sodium milligrams are in there. It helps you make informed decisions. So here is a food label. We're going to break it down and learn how to read it so that you have a better understanding about what it's telling you. So let's start with serving information. The first thing is serving size. Now, this is a standardized amount. So if you have a box of macaroni and cheese and it says it has 4 servings in it and the serving size is 1 cup, that means that that's typically what somebody eats, but it is not a recommendation for how much of it you should eat. But it's important to know the serving size because all calorie and nutrient amounts are based on that serving size. So all the numbers below this on the food label are based on this 1 cup of serving, or this 1 cup serving size. So it's a familiar measurement. It might say 4 crackers, or 2 bars, or something specific to that food item. Again, it's not a recommendation of how much you should eat or drink, and everything below it is based on that. So that's serving size. The next part of the label is in big bold print with our new label, which was updated about a year and a half ago. Calories. And like we learned earlier, calories are a measurement of how much energy you get from the food. And again, per serving. So if 1 serving is 1 cup and it's 280 calories, what if you eat 2 cups? Then you have to double that. Okay, then you've got 560 calories. So you've got to double it. Okay. Your daily caloric needs are based on your age, sex, height, weight, and activity level. They have a formula and a link on my plate website that will tell you your daily caloric needs. They do have to have a number to use, and we'll talk about that in the next slide. Okay, so that's calories. That's the second part of the food label. The next piece is about the nutrients. So the key nutrients that impact your health are located on this food label. Let's see if I can move myself. Maybe I can't because I'm covering up part of the thing here. So nutrients are all these things listed here. Now, some of them we don't want to have a lot of. We want to have less saturated fats, which are located right here, less trans fats, less added sugars, which is down here, and less sodium. Those are some things we want to be careful not to get too much of in our diet. And added sugars, just as for a definition, are sugars that are put into the food during processing. So they're added, they're not natural, and they aren't very good for you. So there are certain nutrients based on the research that has been done by the FDA that Americans aren't getting enough of. And those nutrients include fiber, vitamin D, calcium, iron, and potassium. So we want to get more of those nutrients, and those are located here, and dietary fiber is up here under carbohydrates. So step 4 is something called percent daily value. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. They've used percent daily value based on a 2,000 calorie a day diet. Now, most of you as adolescents are probably going to have more than a 2,000 calorie diet per day, especially if you're active or in a sport or something like that. The daily value is the amount you should consume in one day or the amount you should not exceed in one day. So the daily value of fat, if 9 grams is 12% of what you should get in a day, okay, you can do the math to figure out how many grams you should have in a 2,000 calorie diet. And that becomes your daily value. But don't worry, they do the math for you. The percent daily value is the portion of the daily amount that is in one serving of that food. So remember, this is all based on one serving. If you have 2 servings, it's not 9 grams of fat, it's 18 grams of fat. And it's not 12% of the daily value, it's 24% of the daily value. If the percent daily value is 5% or lower, that food is not a good source of that nutrient, or it's low in that nutrient. Okay, so in this example, it's low in added sugars, which is good because we don't want a lot of added sugars. Okay, it's also low in vitamin D, which is not good because we want higher numbers for vitamin D. So if the percent daily value is 20% or higher, then it's high in that nutrient. For example, let's look at sodium. 37% of your daily amount of sodium that's recommended is in one serving of this food. That's high, and we don't want high numbers for sodium. We do like high numbers for calcium, and the number behind my little screen here is 25%. So it's a good source of calcium. Let's take a look at this a little more closely. So you've got your nutrients to get less of: saturated fats, trans fats, added sugars, and sodium. They are underlined in red. Saturated fat, trans fat. Notice that there's no percent daily value of trans fat. Oopsie, sorry. There's no percent daily value of trans fat because there is no recommended daily amount of trans fat. Sodium is another one, and added sugars. So those are the ones you want less of. Nutrients you want more of are underlined in green: fiber, vitamin D, calcium, iron, and potassium. And you want those to be 20% or higher. Let's take a look at what that daily recommendation looks like. So if the daily recommendation is 2,300 milligrams a day of sodium, okay, one serving of this food has 37% of that utilized, 850 milligrams. So for the rest of the day, you have 63% of your daily value remaining, right? So if you eat 2 servings of that food, it's 74% of the daily value, and you only have 26% of the daily value remaining. So this entire tube here is 1 day's worth of sodium, 2,300 milligrams. Okay, so another way to look at it. All right, let's watch a short video about nutrition facts.
Learning how to read and understand food labels can help you make healthier choices. Here is the current and new nutrition label. The serving information tells the size of a single serving and the total number.
Sorry.
Learning how to read. Here is the current and new nutrition label. The serving information tells the size of a single serving and the total number of servings per container or package. It's important to pay attention to the calories per serving and how many servings you're really eating. If you double the servings you eat, you double the calories and nutrients. We want to limit saturated fat, trans fat, sodium levels, and added sugars. Note, added sugars are now displayed on the new label. For a balanced diet, we need dietary fiber, protein, calcium, iron, vitamins, and other nutrients daily. Percent daily values tells us the percent of each nutrient in a single serving in terms of the daily recommended amount. As a guide, when we want to consume less of a nutrient, choose foods with a lower percent daily value of 5% or less. If we want to consume more of a nutrient, we can look for foods with a higher percent daily value, such as 20% or more. We may need to eat less or more than 2,000 calories depending on our age, gender, activity level, and whether we're trying to lose, gain, or maintain weight. Your healthcare provider can help you figure out how many calories you need.